SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Welcome back. Day 2 of the G20 South Africa 2025 well underway. Live to you from the south of Johannesburg. This is, of course, at the Nasrec Expo Center. This is where all the action is taking place. A number of side events that we'd anticipated also now unfolding, bilateral relations between South Africa and several of our friends around the world. But, of course, communication is at the heart of actually getting a summit right. And so we'll jump straight into our next interview with Dr. William Baloyi, who's with GCIS. Sir, it's great to see you. You and I always spar off air, so it's great that we can chat in front of South Africans. Help us understand what the main focus of South Africa's message has been and how you've worked at making sure that it gets to the right people. Because let's face it, there are so many voices all competing for the attention of those who are watching.
No, thank you very much also for asking that. South Africa is the only second country to have what we call a summit, a social summit. The social summit was after 130 meetings across the country. So where we were giving an opportunity to your NGOs, your youth formation and so forth. They culminated into a 3-day session that was held at Birchwood, and they have done what we call a declaration that represent the aspirations of your ordinary people. South Africa is going to present it also to the leaders of the G20 Summit. And today is the second day and the last day of this successful summit that we hosted.
Yeah, you clearly know something we don't. The summit is still underway, but I suppose hopefully what we've seen so far will carry on throughout the rest of the day. There are a number of media platforms that are here, and I'm so interested in, I suppose, the logistical task of making sure that everybody, I suppose, has their needs catered to. What did it take to pull that off?
I think this is a product of hard work. We have been hard at work since we took over the presidency from Brazil. We also interacted with Brazil. As you have indicated, it's not easy to accommodate your international media because of the time differences, the 6+4 time differences. But what we have done as GCIS, we did our work of the difference in time, and then we make sure that they get content that resonates with their time frames that other side. And thanks also to the host broadcaster, the SABC, because they accommodate the different time zones that they are going on. The time that you go on air in the morning is still early hours in other countries. The time that you are right now, then they are waking up. But when you do your closing remarks, is during the day in the other things. So they get the content as it is. But also the issue of translations. As you know that when you translate documents, they might have a different meanings. So we make sure that the wording that is there, they get it correct. So that is what we thought we have gained over a period of hosting events of this magnitude. Maybe to give an example, today is the very last day. We are having a closed session. As I'm speaking to you now, the leaders of G20, the leaders that have been invited by South Africa, those countries, they are coming, and your international organizations, we have invited them. Why? Because we are going to discuss 3 critical areas. 1, the issue of work, decent work. 2, the issue of IA, artificial intelligence. But 3, most important, the just and fair distribution of your critical minerals. As you know that South Africa, like the rest of the African continent, are well endowed with minerals, but that doesn't translate into showing into the development of those countries. So we are going to look at it, including your beneficiation. So it's going to be quite a very important session. And at 1 o'clock today, we expect President Ramaphosa to officially close the session. And then on the sidelines, as we have indicated, there are bilaterals. For example, the president of Brazil, because they are exiting the
Troika.
Of the Troika. So they will be doing a press briefing so that they thank also how South Africa carried it. Our president, I think, at bilaterals with President Modi of India. So those are the sidelines of this successful G20.
Yeah, you're a communications man, so I'm going to bring us back to that, and I'm going to ask about whether or not you're happy with the messaging that the international community is receiving about the summit.
Actually, the mere fact that the declaration was adopted with an overwhelming majority on the very first day. It means the messaging that we have put as South Africa, that messaging of solidarity, that messaging of sustainability, also that has resonated well with the aspirations not only of Africa but of the global south, but also other less struggling economies. They found resonance in that. Hence, it was adopted on the very first day with an overwhelming majority, except only one country, which was Argentina, raising whatever the issue. The issue of America was not participating, but they did approach us to say they want to participate on the last day. Unfortunately, the level that they're coming doesn't resonate or feel with us, because this is a leaders' summit. They are bringing a person at the level of a charge d'affaires or an ambassador. That, unfortunately, cannot be accommodated.
Yeah, and we've heard that, the handover will therefore take place at DIRCO's offices with an equivalent official from South Africa. So much of the conversation has been about putting Africa and South Africa more specifically on the map with this particular summit. Yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa quoting Nelson Mandela and saying that, South Africa has found its place in the community of nations. My question is whether you reckon that is happening. Is South Africa being seen as the kind of country that can easily pull summits like this off and many other global gatherings?
No, thank you very much. We have put on the agenda the issue of debt relief, and we have invited fellow countries of the continent. So that resonates exactly with the role that we are playing in the community of nations. As we might be aware, we are the very first African country in the continent to host this G20. What does that mean? It means people believe in South Africa, people believe in the infrastructure of South Africa, people believe in the leadership of South Africa in articulating issues that have to do with your lesser economies, the global south, and the continent.
All right, William Baloyi, thanks very much indeed. Appreciate the time and your speaking to us. That, of course, is part of GCIS, as we get a sense, of course, of, I suppose, what those who are part of the logistical team are thinking about in a moment like this. And it's interesting to kind of get their perspective, given the messaging that typically makes it to the public about the standing of South Africa, whether Africa, in fact, is up to the task in pulling off summits like this, and whether or not, in fact, it'll be given the opportunity to do exactly that in the future. We do know that there are a number of other high-profile gatherings. I think there's one involving the IMF that's coming pretty soon. And something tells me that officials from the government here at home are buoyed by the sense of optimism that we've heard about, at least at this particular gathering. That's us here at the floor of the media center. As you can see, we grab them as we see them. But let me pop you over back to our nerve center, our satellite studios. Sharon Bryce Peace, Tula Sizo Simelane. Over to you.